Hi, big boy Cloud Sharam here. In this video, we're going to be talking about the idea, or just the phrase, what is a vibration? Now, this video is so, I guess, fundamental to understanding emotional healing that I feel like it should be in a series of its own called Fundamentals. So, not really knowing what I'm doing with this series yet, let's just give it an intro title. Fundamentals! Yeah! So, when it comes to emotional healing, what is vibration? Vibration is one of those phrases that honestly get thrown around in a whole bunch of different spectrums. In one end, you've got physics, where you can talk about vibration in terms of waves and particles and, sound. In the other end, you talk about vibration in terms of manifesting. Manifesting in the terms of like, oh, I'm such a high vibration. In truth be told, we're sort of talking about it somewhere in between. You know, when I talk about emotional healing, I like to talk about it in the terms of like, look, we're blending the spiritual and we're also blending the physical. You know, we're deeply blending elements that I've learnt very deeply through manifesting and things like that, but also very deeply through psychology and things that are grounded in the world of real. So when we're talking about vibration, basically, look, we are talking about a little bit law of attraction here, a little bit of psychology, but this is honestly a great way of looking at the world, because once you start seeing things in terms of vibration, you start to feel a little bit more relaxed and a bit more understanding of the world. For example, someone with a high business vibration, a high money vibration, a high body vibration, a high sexual vibration, a high relationship vibration. These are all things that can be high, and we're and we're about to talk about that right now. So, basically, when it comes to before I get into this, I want to, basically, when it comes to talking about things in terms of vibration, when I say someone is high vibration in something, what I'm actually saying is that they are either good at it, they are amazing at it, they are great at it, but they're also simultaneously great at inviting it in their life. They're great at bringing it in, they're great at attracting it. So it's not just skill set based, but it's also, I guess, aura-based. You know, it's your ability to have it in your life as well as create and cultivate it. Sure, there are little blockages that we might think a certain thing has to come into our life a certain way. For example, you might think that you have to work hard for money. And with that, you might have a high money vibration, meaning that money comes to you, but you might have to believe that you might have to work really hard for it. You know, I definitely see people who they're like, oh, life is hard, work is hard, you have to find it. While someone else is like, life is easy, work is easy, and they manage to always find a job that works for them, for their lifestyle, things like that. So you can have a high vibration, but also still filter it through the consciousness of ourselves. So I'm going to be talking about vibrations. I'm going to give you some examples from my own personal life and people around me and things like that. It's really worth recognizing. But when we talk about vibrations as high, I want you to sort of think about it in the way that it's like, no matter what, that's the sort of the status quo. And honestly, when we talk about emotional healing and surrender, what we're actually doing is raising your consciousness. Like we're raising that vibration. So when I'm working with someone, for example, around relationships, surrendering and processing the blocks around relationships, for all intents and purposes, raises their relationship vibration. I actually talked about this in the video, my last video, which I actually deleted because the stuff in that video, look, sometimes I put stuff out there and I'm like, look, I just don't feel quite right about putting it out there. Maybe just yet, maybe it's too soon, things like that. So I promptly removed it. But in that video, I talked about the idea that basically, for myself, I've got an incredibly high relationship vibration. Basically, it was something I was almost innately born with. Through life and through learning, I basically fucking crushed it and destroyed it, basically creating relationships that I didn't necessarily think aligned for me, aligned for other people, listening to the wrong advice. That's why I'm really adamant about listening to your own goddamn advice, because honestly, you can look at stuff online and people be like, oh, in relationships, have you ever thought about doing this? And you're like, look, but that's not very genuine for me. And if it's not genuine for you, maybe you're above that. Maybe your vibration is above the advice that you're receiving. So, for example, for myself, like if I'm not in a happy relationship, I will fucking make it a happy relationship. That hasn't been for the past. I had to heal. I had to surrender. I basically had to purify that vibration. But no matter what, I will find a way. How we raise it is through surrender, is through healing, is through growing. Some people raise their vibration through learning new skills, things like that. But generally, what I find is the healing comes first. Unless it's like some innate potential that's within you, the healing generally always has to come first before we are ready for something. And sometimes we inherit it through parents. For example, some people have a high education vibration just because their parents basically force it on them. Only through adults, through healing, does it transfer from being inherited to conscious. And generally speaking, conscious vibrations, conscious decisions hold more power than inherited ones. So the healing comes first. A really good example, and I asked her permission for this like fucking many times, my partner, my girlfriend, she has a higher money vibration than myself. This happened when she wanted to basically she wanted to buy a house, and she made the decision first, and what ended up happening was that just decision of, oh God, how am I going to be able to afford this? My life's going to change, mortgage, this and that. That basically forced her to deeply surrender her anxiety. As a result, pretty soon she started getting more jobs that were higher paying than mine, and that's fine because I'm an incredibly, competitive person, which means, sure, she's got a higher money vibration than me, but let's go, you know what I mean? For me personally, I have an incredibly high birthday vibration. Through my birthday, and guess what? It's my birthday this Sunday. Happy birthday to me. Through my birthday, I somehow create a vortex in which people are excited and loving and they want to share and they want to be a part of it, and that's great. And this was actually something that I've only recently rediscovered about myself through healing. I healed one aspect of myself, and through that journey, I then realized, hey, wait a second, I love my birthday. Let's fucking do it. Everyone, it's funny because I'm notoriously horrible at remembering details. I have to write people's birthdays down. I have calendars constantly reminding me because I'm terrified of remembering. But for myself, it's like, everyone fucking knows. And I even said to my partner, it's like, I've healed some aspects about my birthday. Like you're gonna wanna feel like you're gonna celebrate it. I'm that potent. My energy with that is that pure and that potent. And please, you don't have to feel like you're gonna have to buy everything for me and celebrate it and things like that. And she's like, oh no, but it's great. I'm like, you're already in the vortex. Even to the point, so Melbourne in Australia just went on lockdown again. So I canceled all my birthday plans. Woo! And I commented my sadness on there was a little protest in a Reddit forum. I'm internally protesting. I had to cancel all my things. And it's from that, it's I get some messages from friends. They're like, hey, we saw your comment on Reddit. Apparently it's one of the top comments. I don't know if it still is, but it was with the most, upvotes. It's my birthday is this monstrosity that just goes and goes and goes. So that's one thing. Coaching vibration is personally, it's quite good. It's not as high as I would like it to be. You'll always have these aspects of yourself that you're trying to work on. For example, my social vibration, incredibly high. Higher than the average bear, I'd like to say, but not necessarily ego way it used to be. I used to be this kind of person that really identified with Mr. Social Life. And that's the thing, if it's an ego thing, it's like a table with really weak legs. It takes a simple wind and the whole thing will fall over. So I used to have I was born innately with a high social vibration. I've cultivated more. I've surrendered. I've processed it to let that happen. Sometimes I'm so fucking sleep deprived that that's actually numbed a little bit. Let's be honest. Right now I've had 3 or 4 hours sleep or something like that. But generally speaking, what ends up happening is that I always find ways to meet people, to create new relationships, things like that. Through my own healing journey, I've realized, look, rather than always creating new relationships. I also got to cultivate and reconnect with old relationships much more. I find generally that happens. The more someone heals, the more they, rather than focusing on creating new, they also, and more importantly, much focus on consolidating it. You know, it's like I'm creating a new online course called Healing the Blocks to Love. It's about surrender and love. But more importantly in that, I talk about how, you know, when we're healing relationships, we actually start to get our experience from past relationships that we actually missed out on. And that's really important. You know, everyone is like, ooh, got to get my dating advice, got to get my relationship advice. But they've missed out on all the experience that they've actually already had in relationships. So as you heal, you actually access that incredibly vast wealth of experience that you already have, which to me is fucking cool. Other areas of life that you can have vibrations in, high vibrations. You can have high fashion vibration, high sales vibration. And here's the thing, you can have a high money vibration, which means it's like when I say something's high as well, like it doesn't necessarily mean it's like a spiritual thing. Sometimes it can be like you have such a high money vibration that it's like, if it isn't coming to you, you're gonna fucking work hard for it. You know what I mean? But you can have a high money vibration and a shit sales vibration. So for example, you're really bad at sales. It just doesn't work for you. There's no charm, there's no charisma. The people aren't helping you out, but you have a high money vibration. Means you find a job that you just work for someone else. High sales vibration, low money's vibration. You're amazing at selling. Maybe you're great at convincing people, but you're just shit ass at earning money. So it's that you're in positions where you always sell, but you're not necessarily earning any money from it. You know, I for some reason have a high, like a spokesperson vibration. It's like somehow inadvertently I always end up either at like functions or events. It's not even like family functions where you have like a pre-established role. It's like I started healing and this just fucking happened, where it's like I always end up somehow being the MC. Not just because I'm the loudest, but because I have that commanding presence and I don't necessarily, like, it's like I know it's like, cool, you know, like everyone listen to me, we got to do this thing now, come on everyone. Second times now, through various startups and things like that, I've ended up being like very briefly is enough for me, the face of the startup, like in the videos and the stuff like, hi, I'm Sharam, we're talking about this now. Like, it's like, this is actually a vibration of mine that I want to explore and I want it to get raised. And I want you to be thinking now, like, obviously, like, as you're listening to me, like, what are some vibrations in your life that are quite high? Like, for example, you might have a good pet vibration. My girlfriend, fantastic cat vibration, has this, she's been around cats for a while, like they've basically educated her, frustrated her, but through her aura, through being around her, has my cat vibration increased. Now, I feel like, you know, I haven't necessarily done much healing in the space of cats. Through her, I have, but it's like in her space, I can see that. It's through that avenue. And that's often what coaches have. You know, I said I have a high relationship vibration. Things like, that's why often people in the past, they use me as a dating coach, relationship coach, things like that. Because it's like through the avenue of me, do they see their own growth. The irony is, I've spent so much time coaching relationships that I now realize that healing makes it work for you. So now I mostly teach healing because it's like, you do that, the relationships work for you. High healing vibration, for example, it's like I find through the content that I produce, it's like people end up getting the results. High, what else? What are some other vibrations? Interior design vibration. My girlfriend's interior design vibration, significantly higher than mine. Let's be honest, significantly higher. I haven't necessarily had a chance to explore that as much because my brain is always focusing on business. But in the background, I always do surrender. I surrender, oh, I'd love to be designing this, or I'd love to be the layout of this, things like that. You can have high health vibration, low food vibration, where you're just like really healthy, but you don't really create very interesting foods. High food vibration, low health vibration. Generally that comes when it comes with like that fast food, the food that might make you feel a little bit unhealthy, things like that. High body vibration, where you That's the area that's a bit murky for me, so I can't necessarily share too much about that. But high body, you can have a high fitness vibration. No matter what, you will find a way to create fitness, or you end up attracting fitness. Remember, it's like the rule is always with healing is that, and I have a really nice way of saying this. It's like it'll come to you'll go to it, or it'll come. No, it'll come to you, or you'll go to it, but it won't matter which is which. It's like, for example, people in relationships who are like, oh, they don't text me enough. And as I ask them to surrender to their frustration around it, it's like pretty soon it doesn't matter if they text them or you text them or whatever. But then it's like the pipe is clear. That's why we talk about the pipe. It's the pipe between you and me, the pipe between you and you want. There's just all these little blockages that are there. And all we got to do is surrender and process these emotions. You can have high business, low money vibration. You're really good at business, really bad at money necessarily yourself. So you start creating money for other people. High money vibration, low business vibration, things like that. You can have categories and subcategories. For example, you can have business and money might be the same. I like to think of it sometimes they're like a Venn diagram. There might be parts where they overlap, they might be completely overlapping, and there might be parts where they're actually mutually exclusive. So generally speaking, the vibration because this is a foundations sort of video, when we're using the word vibration, what we're actually meaning is like, it's both acumen, ability, and ability to attract, but also, inviting it into your life, being available for it, things like that. It's not necessarily very manifesty, but at the same time it is. It's the frequency in which you operate. Like we're talking about frequencies, right? It's like, there's an up and there's a down. Sharam, science, up and down frequency, But it's like when we're talking about a vibration, high business vibration, the heights and the lows are a lot higher still with someone with a low vibration. Low money vibration, the highs and the lows quite low, but still a high money vibration, those low vibration, high money vibration, the highs and the lows are still quite higher, just like a sound wave, a radio wave, things like that, where they have oscillations, things like that. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know any vibrations that you that you think are quite high in yourself, and ones that you are thinking are that worth exploring within yourself. And as always, motherfucking surrender, process your goddamn emotions. And if you don't know what the fuck I mean by that and you need a crash course, there are a million videos on this channel. Or if you want to save your time, I created my course called Introduction to Surrender, which is on my website, link in the description. Or if you're watching this in a place where there are no links in the description, you can just message me. That is a crash course to bring you up to date. So thank you so much. Talk to you soon.